Check, check, check. This is the YouTube audio stream Vox. Check. Yeah. Comes in on delay. We're checking Doe's cables, Doe. Dim cables. Dim cables.
What happened? Did Phineas get mad at you and now he's not posted on? Oh, here it is.
Sounds fine. What, like crackling and distorted or anything? Yeah, that's okay. We'll get there. You hear that, YouTube? We did your sound check. Complain now!
Na oligarchy.
Broadcasting live from the Sub-Basement 27 Studios deep in the heart of the Hypercube, here in America's California, Orlando, Florida. It's time for the show. I'm Dr. Fox, your host of this week's live SpoopGenius Radio Ministry Propaganda Update and Proliferation of Psychoustic Firmware OTA Update version 1158032 QF96. And joining me via Hypercom, which you can too by going to timefortheshow.com, clicking the Discord button. Let's come meet your friends. They're good people. Here. Hey, Bees, how you doing?
Fine.
That's good. That's good. I'm excited you're here. How you doing, buddy? You hanging in there?
I'm hanging in here. Excited, rough. Yeah, I'm doing good. The peace.
Great, let's go to my favorite part of the show.
What time is it?
Cube News, all the news that's fit to Cube. Oh, Lord. So we're going to try something different this week. We're going to have Aster 6 give us a couple of these headlines that we usually read at the end of the show. And if we got something to pop off with it, we'll just pop it off. And then we're going to take a little segue. And then later on in the show, we're going to go back. And we're going to do Proving Grounds. We're going to go through these same headlines again. So you at home, this episode is fun-teractive. So listen along with your ears. That means take a minute from resting your jaw from chewing that gigantic hoagie. And, just turn up your radio a little bit. Sit down and don't think. All right, let's go through a couple of these. What do you got, Aster 6, on the freehand microphone?
On the freehand, we got McDonald's making a McRib MFT.
Okay. I mean, I've already got, so it's the first time anyone would show interest in buying a McRib.
Yeah, but you can only buy the NFT in certain regions during the year.
Certain times of the year, the McRib NFT is back. Well, yeah. Typically the McRib shows up when pork futures are low. So they're unloading all that unwanted pork that normally would be sent off to the Chinamans. All right, what else?
Now, strangely enough, in the metaverse that Mark Zuckerberg is building, the McRib will be available all the time.
The McRib.
Yeah, the E-Rib.
That was because Adam's last name was McDonald. He was Adam McDonald, and Eve was made from his McRib. Yes, that's why women are saucy.
Scholars are not aware that Adam was a Scot.
And not kosher.
Definitely not.
All right, next news.
What?
Well,
yeah, bitch!
Speaking of Meta, Meta shares are spiking, but it's not the Facebook formerly known as Facebook. It's a Canadian company called Meta is now getting increased shares or prices. I don't know. It's stock shit.
So it's
soon we'll see avatars
underground
jumping off the building.
Well, that's where it all came in. That's the insider investment trading. Is Max Zuckerman and his famous pig? That's it. Meta is some business.
TikTok.
That's some
That'll do.
Canadian business right there. Some business.
It's some business.
And so and Matt Zuckerman said, I'm going to buy this company. So he already owns it, right? In secret, through like a Shell corporation or an Exxon corporation, something like that. And then he's going to change Facebook's name because it's going to come out that Facebook is going to have to buy their website, right? And so Meta is going to be like, well, Facebook, if you want to buy our website, meta.co.ca, or however we do it in our socialist utopia up here.
CA.
CA.
Those Canadians.
That's it. That's the whole trick. That's the whole
it's
trick.
A conspiracy. It's a big blue conspiracy.
All right, what else you got?
Another Facebook blunder. They have already been scammed by a bad Bitcoin deal by somebody claiming to be Elon Musk.
Who's they?
Facebook.
Facebook took a Bitcoin deal?
Yes.
From Elon Musk, in all fairness.
Elon Musk.
Now, it's funny, most people don't know that Elon Musk was the young boy that was rescued by the federal government when he was being held hostage against his will and away from his father in Florida many years ago. He was whisked back to communist Cuba, and a human wrong was right, as he was returned to the loving arms of his communist father.
That's why they named Reno, Nevada after Janet Reno from that. That was
That's correct.
Okay.
After her conquest of Waco, Texas.
Yeah.
They don't call it Waco for nothing.
Sorry, I was trying to see why it went down, but basically there was a big server drop for Roblox. They were having issues with their multiplayer.
Someone pulled out the bottom port forwarding. What else? What else you got?
Yeah, okay, that one didn't work so well. One of the last flying tigers from World War II is 104 years old.
Zoo takes down low ceiling. Because it's
I was going to go, why are they still making that
roof over? But now he's old.
Yeah, now he's old.
He's old.
He ain't going nowhere.
Why don't they just call it Chinese tiger?
What?
Don't stop for him.
All right.
Don't stop for him.
Dutch University has a rare penis plant bloom.
Dutch University has rare penis plant bloom?
Yes.
Okay.
Director vows to get a less pretty secretary.
And that's cute news. The rest of it is my favorite part of the show, where we just wait and hope for something to happen. See, now I'm coming to you, kids, from this camera down here. Peas disappeared. Oh, there he is. Hi, Peas. How you doing? So I have to look down to talk to you guys, and the microphone's in the way. But we got the desk back, so we actually went down and it got the desk back, and it is now here in the studio, and we'll be setting that up. And so something I wanted to do was, we'll have a little real talk tonight because it's our spoopy post-Halloweeny special. Love them weens. And so there's nothing scarier than reality. So I figured we'd go over reality with the kids for a bit, which I have to look at you when I say this. So a few months ago, we had a fundraiser for me. And it was to help us get our car fixed after spending all of our money at X-Day. And we got a good amount from a lot of people. I want to say thanks to everybody that pitched into that. I didn't post it everywhere on Facebook. I think I posted it once, and then pinned it up on the Discord. I wasn't going to make a big like, oh, I need this money or something like that, but I do appreciate everybody that pitched in. And I was able to put a significant amount of money into from that into getting the car repaired. And the remainder of that money is actually going to go towards registration and transfer because one SpoopGenius who, I think I can say who it is so everybody can bother him and say, oh, you're such a nice guy. So, yeah, make sure, SpoopGenius, you let Caller 23 know he's a nice guy. Take a little time out of your day to remind Caller 23 that he is a nice guy. Because Caller 23 has shifted down a vehicle to me, and that has been on the arrangement that I will get a car. I will give the car that I just had fixed to Flux Rootenberg, who's never had a car. So with all the stuff that was raised, not only were we able to repair the vehicle, little slackmobile, but we're able to help out somebody that I think was quite a good little SpoopGenius this year, and hopefully that means that we'll be able to bring him back onto the show because then he'll have a car that he can come out here. So.
Flux Rootenberg, a lot of people don't know, is a Mennonite. And of course, until recently, when he renounced Mennonitism, was he able to even be allowed to drive a car. And in the past, he was driving an Amish buggy that was recently seized by the authorities for suspicion of cocaine smuggling. But it turned out all to be a misunderstanding and just a bad baking powder delivery gone wrong. The hijinks and shenanigans.
It was still weird that he was keeping all that baking powder in the horses. Right?
It was, and we thought that was it for Flux, and but in the course of everything, the police didn't know how to take care of the horse, and they let the wagon fall into disrepair. So I think that this car will be a godsend for him.
So thanks to everybody for that. So not only did you help me out, but we're gonna help out Flux Rootenberg, and again, hopefully he'll be joining us
whether
back
he
on
likes
the show.
it or not.
He will forever be indebted to you, the audience, and will come back. After that, the rest is where I'm at, and I think it's a neat part. So what did you? Before we get into that, let's go over. Let's not make it all about me. Let's ask P something. How did your weekend go, Peas? Did you have a good Hallow weekend?
No, I did. I did. I had a very good time. I had some adventures. I was going to go to this thing called Hump and Bump, which is like a Jeep Jamboree.
It's a club on the Strip, right?
No, it should be. It should be. But strangely enough, it is sponsored by the Palomino Club. Full nude, full
I love your soap.
Bar, which is you can get it from Raul in the bathroom, that's for sure. But anyway, I was driving the camper up to the Clark County Fairgrounds and Rodeo Arena, which is where they have this event at by Logandale in the city of Overton, Nevada. And the tie down that I used to keep the camper's top on, because it's super old and it fell off for some reason. It just got loose and it bent the spring tube, which is what lifts up the pop-up camper. So
the camper's damaged.
Oh yeah, it's
the mobile
very
research unit is damaged.
The mobile research.
Why did you enter it into a rodeo?
Well, I was trying to win prize money for Flux Rootenberg's car.
So you were trying to do something nice.
Right, exactly.
And you are suffering from that.
No, I'm not suffering. That's part of the adventurer's lifestyle, okay? If there was not peril and things that happened, like I had things happen in my Jeep, and adventures like that, but if those things don't happen, you just call it going places. You don't call it adventuring. adventurers.
But you said you had some adventuring. Didn't you go adventuring?
Well, I did, but here's the thing. I know why my camper broke. Okay, right before I left on my trip, I took a sticker that Owen Cannonbite had given me with this bob head with two hands, and it says "Trust Bob," and I put that on the back of my camper because I'm an idiot. I should know better by now. I can't even claim to be a new SpoopGenius anymore. I'm in the club long enough to know this is bound to happen. And, you know, like I said, 45 miles later, Bob loosens my tie-down thing, and it falls off and rips off half the bottom of the lift mechanism. Now, my Jeep also has a Bob sticker. It's taken a long time for Bob to work his magic to that, but it's maybe because it was Halloween and Bob was working overtime. Maybe Pease, surfed too close to the center of the luck plane, and everybody knows that's Bob's spot. Bob is, of course, at the very, very geometrically precise center of the luck plane. But I might have been too close to him. Maybe I nudged his ear, something spinning around, going round and round him. But he took me on a Jeep run that was right at the limits of my abilities. I mean, I told Carrots, I said, I might have outdriven my car this time. She goes, what's that mean? Well, I drove better than the car is able to perform at this time. And the only reason we had survived is because of the bravery and the superior driving abilities of your hero, the young Peas.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What about your Jeep?
What I did. I could kick out a couple of dents and scratches, and this of course is a designed vehicle to do this, and I did get some marks on the skid plate, and I bent the exhaust pipe, the teeny weeny bit at the very end, and put like a little V notch in it, and then the track mount, which is this mount that the bar for the front suspension attaches to the frame. It got smacked a little bit, so it looks like it got filed and the lip of it got bent up a little. But those, if you look at the videos of the Peas and what he was doing, it was pretty intense. And it was fun, but we had the sweat fear, both Carrots and I. We were worried we might die. We put our trust in Jeep and Bob, which was dumb.
Well, that's the thing about Dobs head stickers, is that they're never good for what they're on. Now, I will admit, a Dobs head sticker on just about anything will make it cooler, But being cool comes with its own weight. And I've often considered that, Bob's always smiling because Bob loves to be seen. He loves it. He loves that you're looking him right in one of those two eyes while the other is, obviously looking at your phone because you're driving. And, the last thing that you saw before the accident was Bob.
Yeah,
and
he loves that shit.
Yeah, so he's really good on the back bumper. He's good on the back side. I also say get a mirrored one and put it on the front, but don't put it in your mirror because then it comes back around. Put it up for the front so the car in front of you, their mirror, they can see. See, that's good for Bob, but it's not good for you, the person. Every time you wear a Dobs head, that is a sacrifice. That is almost an act of martyrdom. If you are willing to announce to the world, there's two kinds of people with Bob shirts, those who know who Bob is and those who don't know who Bob is. And people who wear shirts with Dobs heads on them and they don't know who Bob Dobs is, they're probably going to come into a series of situations simply based on that t-shirt. Just based off of that t-shirt, they're going to get looks, they're going to get jokes, they're going to get pat on the back here and there. They're going to have their bags searched. They're going to have their car searched. So yeah, putting a Dobs head sticker out there, it's good for Bob, but you're letting everybody know when you go out that you might be a SpoopGenius. Again, some people have Bob sticker. Fid Julie was telling us this just a few weeks ago. That somebody had a Bob sticker on the back of their car, and he goes in, it's like the guy that runs the place, like a convenience store. He's like, yeah, I just came from X Day, what's your church name? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And there are people that they'll gladly put another fucking sticker on their car, but they'll never know what it is. And the great thing is that they will be harassed for the rest of their lives as long as it's on there. Now, let me say, you're driving a car and you've got a Dobs head sticker on it. It's something no SpoopGenius ever has to do is deal with the police. No SpoopGenius ever has to deal with the police. So really,
I don't have that interest.
So really, the people that are suffering are the people that don't have Dobs, that don't know who Bob is, and they've got that sticker on the back of their car. Because they're not going to know how to handle that situation when they're asked to roll down their window.
Extra attention. Yep, they're not expecting that extra attention.
I don't think it's so far off that if you've got a Bob Dobbs sticker on your rear bumper, you might as well write "Cops Suck Dick" right next to it, and see which side of the road they pull you over to first.
Fox, you're a doctor in the church, and I've always wondered something. Certain things came about in the early days of the church, and I have a theory now in retrospect, looking back, but like, one of the things is that police were actually taught that a SpoopGenius was an actual cult, that they many times would have, and these are all true things, they'll have drugs on them and all that stuff, so they were instructed to roust them a little bit, and I always wondered, because they took it so seriously, and the reality is most SpoopGeniuses they don't have cars, or they sit in their house a lot reading comics. But I always wondered if that was like SpoopGeniuses like plan, and they just, like one of the little high up people's like, all right, I'm gonna send this fucking informational thing to the police department, because police departments get all kinds of flyers every year from different organizations, like watch out for satanic child killers, and some of them they throw away, and some of them they take to heart and become official police business. And I was wondering if that was like some kind of lark. Somebody said, I'm gonna play a joke on the police, and it backfired and fucked every SpoopGenius since.
Yeah, that's what it took. It wasn't just running into enough of them. It's like the first time.
Only takes one.
First time.
Only takes one.
I mean, think about the kind of person wearing a Dobs head T-shirt. Like a typical SpoopGenius in a Dobs head T-shirt gets taken down to the precinct. Just about anybody, I'd imagine, at intake is going to look over and they're going to see a face with a pipe, and it's just grinning away. Like the only person.
Oh, they taught me about this.
The only person with a smile on their face in intake is Bob. And
he's going to say, though, I learned about this in Police Academy. So they had a chapter about it.
When the second person in a Dobs head T-shirt, doesn't matter if it's a day later, a year later, 3 years later, they will remember that. And they're going to be like, well, what did this one get brought into? Somebody had that shirt before. Is it the same guy? Because it's obviously a white male over 30. Is it the same guy? And, or they're going to, it's a different guy. But look at this. It's a different guy. But he's arrested for, like, a similarly bizarre situation. And it doesn't matter the amount of time in between, because when you get arrested while wearing a Dobs head shirt, that has to be the Dobs Head Hall of Fame. Those are the ones that I want. Can we start going can we request public archives. Like we need mug
anybody getting
shots. I
busted
need
with Bob's
mug
head,
shots of people wearing Bob shirts or police
They don't really
lineups.
show the clothes, though. They don't really show the clothes, though.
Not usually.
You know,
no.
I figured out
But
something. I
sometimes
figured
they
something
do.
out, though. Something that would counteract the Bob sticker, though, on your vehicle, I think, and bring some balance back.
The Blue
And
Lives
maybe,
Matter sticker.
maybe from a psychoustic standpoint, might mask the Bob head from the peering eyes of also the police and Bob himself, and that would be a pylon hypercube sticker, which would turn anything into a pylon that the sticker adheres to with its self-adhering
that would work.
nanotechnology. And so I felt safe with the Jeep, and the Jeep turns out has no damage done to it, and I attribute that to my Hypercube sticker that is also on the back of my Jeep.
Which
So you see,
Hypercube sticker did you have on the back of yours?
I think it's the Hypercube Air Force one.
Oh, nice. The Dr. Cosmac Hypercube CAP decals.
Yeah.
We need to order some more of those. I'm getting ready to do more orders. In fact, I was able to get more holographic stickies.
Where can you go to get stuff that SubGeniuses make, Fox? There's got to be some special website or, online ordering system for all kinds of things, SubGenius. Have you heard of anything, maybe?
No.
Well, that's too bad.
It'd be really helpful. I know
It would be.
that if I had a
I could use
website,
soap.
if you could buy things like
T-shirts and
soap,
stickers.
T-shirts and stickers and other things made by
I'd be
SubGeniuses,
set for life.
it'd be really neat. We
I'd be
could
set
call it
for life.
something like packslack.com, a place where you can buy things from SubGeniuses. I would really like to do that. I would really like to.
Pack snack or Slack pack?
Rat Slack? Back Slack. Well, let's find out. It would take a lot. It would take a lot, and it would take a lot of effort from people that also send in on the show, like Subject T Change, Bob South, Michael Marcus, Trenchy, Agent Lloyd, Negative at Night, Long Dead, Scalpod, Hazel the Windmills, Count Sloth, Caller 23, Reverend 80, and I'm a Genius, and Dr. Cosmac, and possibly X Fenord. Those are people that really help out. And I don't know if you noticed, but there's one less name this week than there was last week's show. So when it comes down to it, you need to do your part and help keep Hypercube afloat, because that's my favorite part of the show.
Yeah, make somebody mad.
So Hypercube is now a growing operation, and we are approaching 4 years of time for the show. And Hypercube is now 9 years old. 9 years. 9 years of Hypercube. And we're 4 years into time for the show. That's coming up. And now I'm, the Pack Slack era is off to a bumpy start, I can say. Learning how to do all this stuff by myself has been very, very tedious. I don't consider myself a smart man.
That's good.
This is hard. Running a business is hard. And Hypercube is a business. This is tedious, and it's boring. And it's not not funny. It's not funny. But I wanna ramp it up. I wanna get the show going. And we've got, we
glad
did
you
a
said
specific
that.
shout
I'm
out
glad
to
you said that.
Triology Soaps. If it wasn't for Triology Soaps, there wouldn't be a packslack.com. And I'm having to learn how to be a mail order business off my ass. I am a 3-time college dropout. I have a high school diploma from Florida. All right, so that you know where I'm at. I'm a subgenius.
Impressive.
And I'm trying to figure out how to do all this stuff. And in that, this week, I'd like to announce that I am suffering. I'm in a really bad spot. I do have people I can blame for this. I was playing by the rules. I was doing everything I was told to do, except one or two little things, which leads into more complications. But I consider myself a nice guy. You know, I may not be the most handsome, but I'm pretty good looking. You know it. And I'll tell you what is the most difficult part of doing the show right now is trying to maintain eye contact with any of the cameras. Over a year ago, I was involved in an incident involving my automobile and another automobile. While I'm not going to go too much into the specifics of the situation, I'll tell you that the repercussion is that I'm in pain. And I have a herniated disc in my neck. In between C3 and C4, whatever that means. I only remember it because they said C4. I went to a chiropractor and a physical therapist for 3 months. 3 times a week for 3 months. And that was excruciating. And then I ran X Day. And before X Day, I had what do you call it? A shot in the neck. You know, they injected me with some shit. Cortisone, thank you. I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. So I've been getting progressively a little bit more fucked up. I'm trying to do my exercises and take care of myself, but it really hurts. It really, really hurts, and I almost didn't do the show tonight because my neck hurts so bad. I was driving a car. I have hurt my neck from having to look in the rearview mirror of a car for a couple of hours. And a long car trip has utterly destroyed me. I was diagnosed with some shit when I was a kid. I have anxiety. I have depression. These are things that I deal with, and we've talked about that on the show before. But when I was about 12 to 13 years old, I was seeing psychologists and psychiatrists and family counselors as I was going through a bunch of crazy shit when I was a kid. And about a year ago, I was diagnosed, actually about 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with a general anxiety disorder, and I was also put down for post-traumatic stress disorder, which I don't know if I'm still exhibiting the symptoms of now, or, but if those kinds of feelings that I was telling to them then qualified me for a diagnosis of PTSD, then I've been dealing with PTSD for years and didn't know it. And this is bizarre for me. The last 2 years has been insane. And I waited and I slowly pulled out of my parking space, and some asshole backed out at 50 miles an hour and just slammed right into me. He didn't give a shit. I remember him getting out of the car and saying, "Oh, I didn't see you. I got a camera." And I said, "Well, back it up. Let's watch the tape." My money was on it right then and there. "You got that on film?" I told the police. He says he has a camera. He told me he has a camera. And the police, here's the fun part. I got hit by a vehicle that is under operation of a certain department of the government in Florida. And not only did that guy get to drive off without receiving any kind of paperwork, my tag was expired. I was out of town and my registration was expired. So I was written a ticket for an expired tag, and they pretty much cut me a deal because I got hit by a government vehicle. Get the fuck out of town, but we're not going to give you an accident report. And that's basically the balance of it, is, you know, we'll let you go, but we're not going to give you an accident report. So I've been involved in a ridiculous battle, and I spoke to my attorney today, who is a new attorney, and they're ramping up. And I'll say this: they put in the notice that I was going to sue 6 months ago, and they have received a steady respond of, we ain't paying. So they're not budging on this. So a lawyer's only going to work for as much as they're gonna get, you know. And there are limitations to how much any vehicle under the government can be paid out for. So it's a stressful situation. My car got fucked up and I got hurt. I have a permanent injury. On top of my anxiety and my PTSD, I now have a herniated disc in my neck. And I was also diagnosed with arthritis this year. So I'm at a position where I just want everybody to know that I really appreciate everything you do for me, which it may be sharing a post, giving it a like, putting in on the Patreon. That stuff is really encouraging to me, and this is what I was going over today. You know, I had to go to the office supply store and get a couple of accordion folders because I have to start sorting all my receipts and getting shit ready for taxes next year. And then I need to store all this stuff for being an adult. Ugh! Legal files, bank statements. It makes me sick. I can barely stand it. Life right now is difficult. And despite getting involuntarily locked up into the loony bin earlier this year, you know, I'm not feeling bad about where I am. And I'm actually feeling a lot more reinforced on that. And it's because everybody's been helping me. Pease shows up sometimes. He's alright. But, yeah. X-Day really nuked my body. And, I'm falling apart. So I don't really know how I'm going to handle the next X-Day. Psychologically or physically. So today I was going through some conversations, and the good news is there are services available that we have coverage to, provided by the state, I'd like to add, to some psychiatric and psychological services that I can look into and afford, some that might even be free. But on top of that, I'm looking at having surgery done on my neck. And this is going to be a major thing for me. Even though it is a minimally invasive surgery that they are performing, it is likely that I'll be in a neck brace or a rig for days to weeks at a time.
They ain't give you a cadaver piece?
Well, they'd be removing something. You know, that's the thing about this.
They usually replace it with cadaver bone.
If they do, you know, I hope maybe I can get some of that biome shit. Like if I can get some who could we get? Who could we get? Has anybody funny ever died? Who's the funny person that died recently? Yeah, most recent dead funny guy.
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle. Like, I'll have a piece of Dave Chappelle's neck put into mine, and then I will officially be black.
And you'll be funny.
I'll be black and funny. I don't have to be funny. I'll be black. And I'll be able to get away with it, with everything. You guys had it coming. That at this point, I've decided that, yes, I'm going to live and I'm going to continue to harass and subvert the world in whatever capacity I can. And that means having to make t-shirts and finding night shift jobs so I have money to pay for stickers and crap like that. I want to keep doing this. I really do want to keep doing this. I like doing this. But this is hard. This is so hard. And it might not be for, I mean, I see some of these YouTubers that are able to, they stream 8-12 hours a day. They play video games. They're good at video games. They have friends that come on and talk about, all this goofy shit with them. And they have networks and marketing and all of that. They've got hundreds of thousands of viewers. And, it's hard just doing this show. You remember when this show used to be 3 or 4 hours long, Peas? Well, now I figured out a way to make it feel like 3 or 4 hours long, but it only takes an hour. And that's by dragging you, the listener, down with me.
Well, let me shift gears here just for a second and share something from the Dobstown Mirror with our wonderful audience. And of course, if you're interested in the Dobstown Mirror, you can become a Patreon quite easily, and you'll get all kinds of great stuff like this. For example, between the iron gates of fate, the seeds of time were sown, and watered by the deeds of those who know and who are known. Knowledge is a deadly friend if no one sets the rules. The fate of all mankind, I see, is in the hands of fools. The wall on which the prophets wrote is cracking at the seams. Upon the instruments of death the sunlight brightly gleams. When every man is torn apart, when nightmares end with dreams, will no one lay the laurel wreath? Silence drowns the screams. Well,
so that was T.S. Eliot.
That's not funny. If that's not funny, I just don't know what is.
What's funny? I've been saying for years, comedy is murder. Unfortunately, I'm the one that's dying. This is what it does to you. Don't succumb to comedy. Laughter is an infectious disease.
You're better off being a junkie.
Just yeah, at least you get something out of it, right? You get a lot more out of being a junkie than you'll ever get being funny.
From comedy.
That's fucking stupid. It's like, who...
Comedy might make you a junkie.
Sometimes junkies get into comedy just to support their junkie habits.
Right.
They're already self-destructive people. There's nothing more self-destructive than becoming a comedian.
I can't think of anything.
I mean,
maybe bomb tester.
Name one funny person who's still alive. See? You can't do it. You can't do it. Nope, they're dead. They're dead. They're dead. The first 3 funny fucking people you thought of are fucking dead. You couldn't come up with anybody. Nothing.
I saw Louis Anderson in this like 2019 show that C.K. Lewis produced, but he's a woman. He's like Zach Fracas's mom, and he's funnier as a woman than he was as Louis Anderson. So I just and then I felt bad because I'm like, would they find a funny woman to be in this show, but now they got Louis Anderson, and he's funny, but he's sad. You know, and I think that's the pain of comedy comes through. Comedy's painful. Look what it's done to Dr. Fox.
Which brings me to very good lead-in piece. Which brings me to my favorite part of the show. It's Reverend 80's clean joke of the week.
It's become one of the more popular bits on the show recently. I think it's the theme music that really sells it.
The kids love this part. All right, here we go. Hey, Peas. What
Yes.
do Robin Williams and Halloween decorations have in common?
The same rope factory wholesaler.
You're not supposed to make up a joke answer. You're supposed to ask me, I don't know, Dr. Fox.
I don't know, Dr.
What
Fox.
do
I don't know.
Robin
Let's
Williams
see
and
if I can
Halloween
get it.
decorations have in common? Because I have to give you Reverend
What?
80's version of the joke.
What, Dr. Fox? What do Robin Williams and Halloween decorations have in common?
They both are hung around the house. And that's Reverend 80's clean joke of the week.
That was a good one, Reverend 80.
You can tell that to your kids. But yeah, you answered. You
I
made a
don't know.
joke. I presented to you the setup, and you delivered your own punchline. And look at that, you weren't that far off.
Yeah.
You weren't
Well,
that
you know,
far
I
off.
was
It goes to show you that you could be a valuable comedy partner.
If only I did comedy.
If only, and you don't, and that's why you're in such good spirits and great health. That's why only your Jeep is in tatters, not you.
No, the Jeep's fine. It was harrowing though, dude. I was like so scared sometimes I can't even tell you. Pam's like, oh, look at this pretty rock, and I'm like, I'm driving, leave me alone.
No, it's this. Because you've got the front. You can't see because the microphone's in front of me. So that's why we're giving the car to Flux Rootenberg. So he can be back over here, and I can be over there. And I can be over there and doing my thing. Because Aster 6 cannot be a producer and also a technical director at the same time. She can't do it. She's got so much to manage. Like, she's over there, like, smoking frop and reading Reddit threads and knitting. She's got a lot to do over there. There's a lot of upvoting going on over there in the producer's corner.
Yeah, I'm monitoring your feeds and whatnot.
Yeah, see, she's busy. We need Flux Rootenberg back.
He's got the funny ha.
And that's why, and so then we have to get more people to listen to the show and get it on the Patreon. So we can give Flux Rootenberg gas money that he will automatically spend on cigarettes. But
American spirit.
But that's where this all started out from. You know, all we asked for was like some cigarette money. Hey, get us some cigarette money. We'll do this show for you. And that has become quite a hassle. I've dug my own grave. You know, I'm not asking anybody to feel bad for me. You should. You really should feel bad for me. That's good for me when you feel bad for me. And telling me how much you pity me and how much you appreciate my sacrifice to you. That is very good for me. But the rest of the time is just like, I'm just catching you guys up. I'm dying. I'm fucking dying. So I gotta but I'm figuring this shit out. And I'm figuring it out because things are going well. Did you notice that we didn't do the Hypercube Begathon this year? We didn't ask anybody to pitch in for the server bill, you know? And we were still able to get the car fixed and take care of the registration and the title. So, thanks. This is your fault. Appreciate what you're doing. Look at me. This is what you're doing. And you can continue to torture and punish me for money by going to patreon.com/hypercube or visiting packslack.com today. All right, it's time for my favorite part of the show. It's Proving Grounds, where we go over today's hottest headlines and see what kind of funny ha-has we can come up with. Headlines, hottest ha-has. Today's hottest headlines with ha-has we will hoist to your hoisin sauce. Okay, what do you got?
On the halberd.
Aster 6.
Well, I mean, we had the one about the,
Is it? You might just have to grab it again. You'll have to freehand it.
But, gosh. Hold on.
Kids at home, when you hear the headline, type in your joke into the YouTube chat and it will forever be emblazoned on the screen. That's how it works, I think. So come on in. Come on in. We're all gonna come up with funny jokes together as friends, as equals.
Well, you want new ones or old ones?
The ones from earlier.
Okay, we got the Dutch University with their rare penis plant flower.
All right, so read out the headline for me.
Dutch University's rare penis plant blooms.
German scientists baffled.
That's a good one.
That's a good joke. See, when I did it, it was funny. All right, what else?
It was funny when I did it, dude.
The last living member of the Flying Tigers turns 104 years old.
The last living member
Yeah.
of the Blind Tigers.
Flying
Tigers.
The Flying Tigers. You made a joke about this earlier.
Well, yeah, but that was an hour ago.
Okay. Yes, the Flying Tigers.
Flying Tigers. The oldest member of the Flying Tigers.
He's the last living one, and he's now 104 years old.
Well, what did he do of note that he gets a news article about him?
He was in a famous flying squadron, and he's the last one alive.
Yeah, but that was years ago.
That's it. He's really old, and he was in World War II.
He's
That's
104 now. When did he turn 104?
Let's see. He turned...
Well, I have the headline. So here's the headline is when interviewed, they said, "What's the last thing that you'd like to happen?" He said,
Friday.
I never want to explain that tigers don't really fucking fly in their goddamn airplanes ever again."
And that's how it works. See, I was just baiting you for time. Baiting you for time. That's how it works. It doesn't matter. He's a flying tiger. I don't have anything
God damn
for
it! If
flying
someone
tigers
asked
this
me
year.
if they're flying tigers, they're goddamn airplanes. 104 years old, I gotta put up with these stupid fucking questions.
Well,
I mean,
wait,
some
who
lot.
are the flying tigers? Who did they fight for?
Japan.
Japanese. So I was about to. Yeah, that's what I suspected.
That's not true. They were flown by a group of American volunteers for the Republic of China against Japan when the Japanese invaded China. And what remnants were left of Chinese territories, they flew the mighty Flying Tigers, which I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe they were P-151s, but they might not have been. And they were noted for having a fiercely looking grin of teeth on the cowl in the front of the propeller. And they staved off Japanese invasion further into China for quite a while, enabling the evacuation and removal of some of the civilian population, thus saving hundreds, if thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of lives, at least tens of thousands.
Hey, peace. How do you starve a Chinese person? Break their chopsticks. Okay, so
Wrap their chopsticks up
I
in
think
duct
we got
tape.
time for one more. What was our other one?
Well, the other good one was the McDonald's McRib NFT.
McDonald's releases McRib NFT.
Oh, I crashed.
We didn't go. Oh yeah.
Oh.
And now the computer has died.
No, just Chrome.
McRib NFT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll bring
Well,
it back
really,
up.
they're releasing the McRib sandwich, and I said they should release an NFT of the sandwich, and then like only allow it to be seen at certain times in the year. It's a good one. It's very Peas-esque. It had
But no
levels.
improvements have been made.
No improvements have been made whatsoever. We're just
McRib
flipping this
NFT.
script.
Just like the McRib, no improvements have been made.
Now here's the thing. Here's a weird thing about the McRib. I had a McRib sandwich, I want to say like 15 years ago in New York, and it was really super good, okay? So every now and then I get sucked into buying one, and unfortunately every one I get, like the one I had in New York looked like the McRib picture. It was beautiful. Every one I get now, it's like this white bread sponge that's been ladled with syrup, barbecue sauce with this
best
I mean, it looks
syrup.
nothing like it. You can't even pick it up because it falls apart from the sog. But I did have a good one once, but never since. And I think that's what they did. I think they put out a really good batch about every 10 years, and they just catch a group of people like, look how good this sandwich is. Then they don't really give you that sandwich again for 10 years. They just feed you some shit ones, knowing you'll come back to see if it's as good as that sandwich. That's what I think the fine folks at McDonald's are doing.
It's a good thing we put the comedy disclaimer on.
Yeah. Fuckers.
All right, it's time for my favorite part of the show.
we actually have a little fucking button that was a joke. That's beautiful. That's the best part of the show right there. That was a joke.
It's time for P's apologies. So P's, tell them what you're sorry about for today. This time.
I'm mostly sorry that I've gleamed into the great McDonald's conspiracy of only putting decent McRib sandwiches out every 10 years, and then for the next 9 years putting out sub-sandwich, basically dog food McRibs, until you're so tired of it. And then you finally have one more, you're like, oh, you're hooked again, and a new generation of people are hooked on the good sandwich that's only released like every 10 years. And I'm sorry that I'm the one that had to tell you about that. I'm sorry to hear of Dr. Fox's neck pains and issues and troubles, but I'm hoping that they can put parts from another human being inside him and make him stronger, faster, and funnier than he was before. We have the technology to do this, and we will then call him the $6 million stand-up. And it'll be a whole show, and we'll make a lot of money on it. We'll all be rich and famous. We'll have exclusive deals. You know, I'll be Oscar Pease, and, I'll be the one that does the indoctrination of the comedy, the $1 million comedy into the new and improved $6 million stand-up. I'm sorry that we don't have that now, but we will, kids. It's just in the very near future. In the very near future.
Well,
I'm sorry that I wasn't smart enough to know that putting a Bob sticker on my camper without a pylon sticker to balance, and yay, may I suggest masks, Bob's peering at my camper, I might have been on my way and still lost in the desert. But thanks to the luck of Bob, I was able to recover with only a few $1,000s worth of damage and my dignity frayed and destroyed, which is the most you can hope for whenever you have an interaction with Bob. And that, kids, is our show for this week. November 1st, it's almost time for Alligator Day. Woo!
Well, Fid, do you have anything for the kids? No?
Crickets. And
Jeez,
silence is in Julie's absence.
what a nerd. I remember when he was saying that he wanted to start doing radio again. What a quitter. Well,
I remember when he told me it was just a rash.
we've Dr. Fox. You've been listening to Time for the Show, a production of Hypercube Laboratory. Visit www.hypercubego.com for more information. This show is broadcast every week on freethinkradio.com. Special thanks to Dr. Ellis and Martha Artha for supporting us with that thing. It's really neat. We really like listening to new shows every day on freethinkradio.com. And if you're listening here on YouTube, please remember to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. And if you push the bell thing, you could win. I heard you might be able to win $1 billion, so click the bell. Peas, you got anything for them David Chillins before we go?
Do you think that was a T.S. Eliot poem? I thought that was a poem that somebody said.
This whole show's going to go right off. See you next time!
That's public domain stuff, T.S. Eliot. He's like 100 years old.